as what they say they are. And I'm going to touch on the very first one, which is usually the taboo one in today's society, and that's coffee. Coffee is very detrimental to your body. You hear now, oh no, I heard this on the news, 5 cups a day is good for you. Well, I'm here to tell you 5 cups a day is going to totally destroy your nervous system. Once again, let's take a look at our society and see how many anxiety-ridden people we have out there. There's anxiety. We've got kids with hypertension. I see kids all the time with cups of coffee in their hands. We have such nervous disorders out there today. People are really struggling just trying to handle stress. So what do? We drink more coffee, which causes more stress. Because the coffee literally eats the myelin sheath off of your nerves. When you eat the myelin sheath off of your nerves, what ends up happening is those nerves start shorting out with other nerves. It's just like your electrical wiring. When you have plastic coating, you have plastic coating on that wiring for a reason, because those wires cannot touch together. If they do, they're going to blow a circuit. Well, when your nervous system, when the myelin sheath is being eaten off of your nervous system, then what ends up happening is you've got bare wiring in your body, which is bumping up against each other. And when that bumps up against each other, you're shorting out, just the same as an electrical system would short out. So you really want to be careful with the consumption of coffee that you're doing. You know, I know lots of people who drink a pot a day, 2 pots a day. If you're having 1 cup for breakfast, that's one thing. I don't even recommend that. But that's one thing. But when you're drinking coffee all day long, the other thing is it's a dehydrator. It totally dehydrates your body. The water that you're trying to put in, you're just eliminating. And most people who drink coffee do not drink water. I have found that time and time again in my practice. So you really want to be careful with the amount of coffee that you are consuming, and especially if you are experiencing a lot of stress and experiencing nervous disorders, then you shouldn't consume it at all. The other dehydrator there is out there is tea. You need to be careful with your tea consumption, because that is a dehydrator too. Herb teas are not dehydrators, but regular black tea and green tea can be to a degree. Green tea is very beneficial for cancer. Green tea actually inhibits the body's blood supply to feed tumors and cancer. So if you're in treatment, the green tea is okay, but you want to make sure you're drinking enough water to make up for the dehydration that it can cause in your body. The other food substance that's out there that is detrimental to your body, and this is one that they have given a license to, and everybody is so excited about it, and that's chocolate. Everybody loves their chocolate. Because, once again, they've done studies. It's high in antioxidants. It's got all these good things in it. But once again, they don't tell you the downside of chocolate and how it destroys the body also. And so you want to be careful with that. Do I say cut out your chocolate altogether? No, it's not as detrimental as coffee is. But you don't want to be consuming it like candy because it's beneficial for you, because it isn't that beneficial for you. So be careful with your consumption of chocolate also. Plus, chocolate has a lot of sugar in it. Chocolate in its raw form, for you people who cook and bake, try tasting that powder that's pure cocoa and tell me you like it. You don't. It's a toxic substance, it really is. And I work with a lot of people that it is affecting them terribly. And I constantly have to rebalance their computer fields because of the chocolate that they consume. Another food substance that we really need to be careful with is sugar. Sugar is extremely detrimental to the body. And in order to find cancer in your body, do you know what they do? They put an electric, they take a dye substance and they put it in they mix it in sugar water, and they shoot that into your system. Why? Because the sugar will go straight to the cancer. Sugar feeds cancer. So if you have a high sugar consumption, you really want to be careful, because that sets the body up for inflammation, and it also feeds cancer. It sets the body up for inflammation, which causes cancer, which is one of the causes of cancer, and then it feeds the cancer. So you want to really be careful with your sugar consumption. You really should eliminate all white sugar from your diet. That is not beneficial for you at all. White sugar has been stripped of all of its nutrients, which makes it a non-food food entity in your body. So your body, and it ends up getting into the bloodstream so quickly that it spikes insulin levels, which we have a rampant disease out there today called diabetes. Diabetes a lot of times has to do with the amount of sugar in your diet, because our pancreas gets to the point where it is dealing with so much sugar that it's producing so much insulin that the body can't handle and deal with all the insulin that's being put into the body. So then you end up setting up the body for disease once again, pancreatitis, and also diabetes. So you really want to be careful with the sugar consumption. It also throws you into high and low blood sugar issues, and that is not healthy either. That is very detrimental to your body for it to be fluctuating between high and low blood sugar constantly. When you eat sugar, it throws your blood sugar way up, and it gives you kind of like a high. And it is actually produced exactly the same way heroin is. So it is an addictive substance. And then once you hit that high, then it slam dunks you back down and you go into this low blood sugar issue. And then you've got the shakes and you're crabby and cranky and you're looking for sugar. I need my sugar, I need my sugar. So you go and you eat sugar and you do it again. You go high and then you slam back down again. It's not beneficial for the body. The body cannot handle that. The body likes equilibrium. So you want to keep your body stabilized with what you're doing. The other food substance out there that is very prevalent in our society is grains. Grains you need to be careful of. We live in a society where we consume too much grains. Grains create inflammation. Wheat is one of the major causes of inflammation in our bodies. So if you have arthritis, that's inflammation. If you have bursitis, that's inflammation. Any itis you have is inflammation. And if you have inflammation, then take a look at your grain intake and see how much you are consuming. Because if you are consuming a lot of grains, that's contributing to your inflammation. So recommendation is eliminate the grains for a while, allow the inflammation to get back down, and then do grains in a moderate. We are to live moderately with our food consumption. We always go off the deep end with things. You know, we drink a pot of coffee a day, we have a bag of corn chips a day, we have, you know, a dozen cookies a day and soda and ice cream at night. We have all these vices that we use, and it creates such an imbalance in the body. So that's where part of the problem is too. So we want to definitely take a look at your foods and get more of a balance in your diet. Our foods should consist of protein. What kind of protein? Animal protein is all right. For those of you who are vegetarians, then you need to be mixing your beans and your rice. Rice isn't as much of an inflammatory as what the wheat is. Wheat is an extreme inflammatory. So you want to kind of, you know, bring your bodies back into balance with your diet. You need lots of vegetables. We've got lots of good vegetables. We'll be having more throughout the summer months here. But you've got to be focusing on your vegetables. Your vegetables are high if you're getting them on farmland that has been treated well and the minerals put back in the soil. That's where you get your minerals from. And that is the most excellent source of minerals because the plant has changed it into an absorbable form for your body to be able to use. So let's take a look at our diets. Let's take a look at what you are doing to your systems and jeopardizing your health. We have so many symptoms today that are out there, and it's not just, when I say symptoms, I don't mean just a headache. I don't mean, oh, I'm aching. No, I'm talking symptoms are disease. So cancer is a symptom, diabetes is a symptom, multiple sclerosis is a symptom, Parkinson's disease is a symptom. It's a symptom of a total imbalance in your body. And when your body is at an imbalance, it's set up for disease to take over. Disease, we just don't catch it. If your body is imbalanced, you won't get the flu. You will not get colds. You will not get sick. I have taken people in my practice from coming in and being sick most of the year and being on antibiotics 3 and 4 times a year to not getting sick at all through the winter months. So that is what I'm here to try to help you to understand, that even all these natural foods, healthy foods we eat, you still need to do in moderation and keep your body in balance. And that's what Anderson Health Emporium is. It's dedicated to keeping your body in total harmony. Are there any questions? Yeah. On a cold day, when your hands get very cold, that's a circulation issue. When it's cold, your body starts to shut down, all right? It starts to go in what's called hibernation mode, okay? And so the body starts to shut down. If there's any coronary issues going on, then your feet and your hands are usually the first to feel that. So if there's any slowdown in the heart function, if there's any slowdown in the blood flow through the body, the feet and the hands are the first to tell that, because you will notice it with being cold first. Losing feeling in them is another symptom that comes along with that. So what I would do is take a look at the coronary artery system, see what's going on there. And once again, it's part of, we know the term hypothermia, okay? So when you get cold, when your body goes into dehydration, and it could be dehydration also, but when your body goes into dehydration, it goes into what's called conserving mode. Okay, so it literally will slow your whole body process down. It'll slow your thyroid down so your metabolism isn't going too fast. It'll slow your heart rate down, because your heart rate needs the water that's lacking in your body for the bloodstream to be thin enough to pump the blood. So it starts to slow the heart system down. It slows everything down. So that's why you kind of get lethargic and just want to sit around and do nothing, because your body has gone into conservation mode. So you want to be careful with that. It depends too, some foods I've found. The thing with me is people come to my practice and they are reacting to foods all the time. And I have them eliminate that food for a length of time and their bodies turn around. And it is usually, I will tell you, it is usually the food you like the most and that you eat the most. Okay, so it depends on, on what that food is. And I determine that and then work with you and try and figure out how to get that in balance. Did that answer your question? Okay. Is there any other questions? Yeah. Raynaud's disease is, once again, it's a disease. And that is, as I mentioned earlier, it does affect the hands, and it affects the extremities is what it does. But once again, that's an imbalance in the body. So what is going on? Now they use genetic things, everything is genetic. It's passed genetically. Oh, well, that's come down through the genes. Well, I'm here to tell you can change your genes. You can just take them off and put on a clean pair. But the genes can be changed. You can stop a flow that's going through your family history by changing and altering your system. If you change and alter what you're doing in your system, it can change those genes around and you're not as susceptible. You may have to work a little bit harder to ward off heart disease if that's in your family. You may have to work off a little bit harder if you have diabetes in your family. You may have to work specifically in that area of sugar balancing in your system. But you can literally change things, and then the future generations can change also by you changing what you're doing in your system. So Raynaud's disease is a circulatory issue, and the object is what is causing that circulatory issue. Are you messing with chemicals? I have people all the time coming into me and I'm going, and then they start telling me about all the chemicals they're spraying around their house to kill the dandelions, to kill the bugs, to do this and to do that. So if your system is toxic with chemicals that work on breaking down your body, that's what a lot of times these diseases are. I had a gentleman come to my place and he came in and he's got this skin disease and was wondering what was going on. He said, I questioned him, we talked and I found out It happened after he put mulch around his house. And I went, oh my gosh, where did you get your mulch? So he told me where he got his mulch. I said, bring me in some mulch, because there's chemicals in that mulch. You did not get a natural form. It was treated. And I said, bring me in. And he had a really bad reaction to the chemicals that was in the mulch that he was using. And so now he's in the position of now trying to get his body balanced out to revert back to being healthy again and not having that disease. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so you're saying that it's not genetic related, but if it is, it can be a
Once a disease has been set in for a length of time, it depends on how long and how much damage it has done. Okay, there is a point that I call the point of no return, all right, where there is so much damage that the body cannot regenerate it. The body regenerates itself constantly, is constantly rebuilding itself. So if it gets to the point where that regeneration can no longer take place, my objective is to stop it at that point and not let it get any worse, okay? So, but it can be inherited. It can't go down through the genes. A lot of times inherited diseases are food related because you eat the way you grew up eating. And if that's at an imbalance, then what ends up happening is then you pass that imbalance down to your family because you all eat the same way you ate at home. And so if there's specific deficiencies going on, those deficiencies are continually passed down. Children, when they're in the womb and being nourished, if mom doesn't have all the nutrients that she needs to nourish that baby healthy, then that baby is going to be born with deficiencies. And that's what we're seeing a lot of today. We're also seeing a lot of today with children being born with moms who are on aspartame. Aspartame is a neurotoxin. It destroys, once again, the nervous system. There's aspartame, there's Splenda, there's saccharin. There is also a chemical substance out there that is a neurotoxin, and that is MSG, monosodium glutamate. So we live in a society that is really pounding our food supply with what are neurotoxins, and that is scary. That is very, very scary. So you want to be aware of those substances when you're shopping. MSG is in almost all of your packaged foods. My recommendation is get out of packages as much as you possibly can. Any other questions? I have a tendency to ramble on, as you've noticed.
Oh, right there.
Okay, thank you. My shop is, it's considered Portersville Road. It's 230 East Portersville Road on Route 488, right off of the 79 exit. I'm a big blue steel building down over the embankment. It's been a wonderful place. I have a lot of land around me, and it's just been really a blessing to be there. And once again, our objective is to help people bring their bodies back into balance so that their bodies can heal. Your body is wonderful at healing itself. You can experience that by cutting yourself. Your body will heal. Even if you don't get stitches, it will heal. You'll have an ugly scar, but it will heal. Your body does that on the inside too when organs, glands, and the inflammation is going on. Your body can heal. You've just got to stop the process that's causing the problem. And that's our aim and goal, is to help you to do that. Thank you very much for hearing me out. Have a great day. Enjoy this beautiful, wonderful weather. The sun is good for you, by the way. Don't let them tell you you can't be in the sun, because it is very healing to the body. And if you want to protect yourself from the sun, slather that body with coconut oil. I'm going to say one more thing. Don't put anything on your skin that you can't eat. Think about that. Your body eats whatever you put on your skin. So all those lotions and stuff can be quite toxic, and that's going into your system. So use pure coconut butter. That works wonders on your skin, and it'll keep you healthy and keep you looking young. Thank you very much.